Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Tuesday, the 25th of Zulhijjah 1445, corresponding with the English date 2nd of July 2024. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathiran wa sabbihuhu bukratan wa asila. O people of Iman, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly and glorify Him morning and evening. Make His tasbih morning and evening. Now, this talim is for everybody. And for what period of time? For every era and every period, Qiyamat tak, until the end of time, until the day of Qiyamah. On one occasion, we had to write on a weekly basis about our spiritual state. Not Zahiri hal, Batini hal. Now that was difficult on its own. So you're writing there. At that time there, I could have been 17 or 18 years old just after getting married. And I wrote there that I am saying or carrying out the zikr of Isme Zat, Allah, Allah 3,000 times. On seeing that, ittila of hal, making apparent my hal, and whatever I had written, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab immediately said, is that what you're making? But Isme Zat starts from 6,000. Starts off from 6,000. Here, nothing was looked at. That are you the son-in-law, or who are you, or what it was. So here Allah Ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathira. Kitna umda, how wonderful. Allah Ta'ala is saying, remember Allah abundantly and glorify Him morning and evening. We cannot say that. We can't even say ana. That there is shirk on its own. And that's why the Buzrugan-e-Din didn't even like that of ana. On one occasion, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, somebody came to his door knocking. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam asked, who is there? The person answered, ana. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was upset with him using the word ana. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say, Anallah. You and I cannot say that. So remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you are in the state of independence, affluency, or destitution. Remember Allah in good health or in sickness. But remember Allah. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly so that you may become successful. Zikr, one talib writes to Hazrat Gangohi that there is a great deficiency in my zikr, in my ma'mulat and in my awrad. Hazrat Gangohi writes back to him that let this never be the case. Rather, while you are walking, doing your chores, running, doing this, doing that, finish your adhkar. Pura karo. It was these type of articles that deeply affected Maulana Abdul Bari Nadwi. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab went on to say that remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, keep your tongue moist with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then tell me, the tongue has fulfilled its duty. So, the tongue will become Mahalle Jannat. Its final destination will be that of Jannah. Now you tell me, if Allah Ta'ala puts the tongue into Jannah, will Allah Ta'ala make the rest of the organs of the body their destination, that of Jahannam? Will He make dusre aza ko Mahalle Nar banayenge? So it was these topics and articles that deeply affected Maulana Abdul Bari Nadwi, and then after that there he came and spent his chilla with Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab in Fatehpur. when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked that which is the most meritorious of all good deeds, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered, Allah Pak ka zikr. It was the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, adopt consistency, mudawamat, in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Morning and evening, carry out the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His tasbih, subhanallah, tahleel, la ilaha illallah. Create the shauq and zawq of the dhikr within yourself. The kalima tayyiba, the takbir, Allahu Akbar. Now, salat is the dhikr of Allah. Tilawat of Quran is also zikr. Acquisition of deeni knowledge is also zikr. Over and above that, even durood is a zikr. In fact, now lately somebody just asked also that durood sharif, yes, durood sharif is also the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala hum sabko zakir shagil bana de. Allah ta'ala make us zakir shagil, those who remember Him abundantly, and we are zakir shagil. Shagal, we're doing our spiritual exercises as well, spiritual activities. So all of these things, salat, acquisition of deeni knowledge, tilawat of Quran, etc., are all part of the dhikr. Apne awqat ko सरकार दो आलम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की तरह मशगूलियत हक के साथ गुजार. Spend your time like how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did in the remembrance. Occupy yourself, make yourself busy in the remembrance of haqq, in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that the best thing ever, सबसे बेहतर काम और अंजाम, the best work and ultimate result is this, that at the time of death your tongue is moist with the kalima La ilaha illallah. Also Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioned, Majlis zikr, 1000 rakat namaz e nafal, हज़ारा नमाज जनाजा में शिरकत और 1000 मरीदों की इयादत से अफजल. This kalima, this majlis of zikr, these gatherings of zikr, it far supersedes thousands of rakats of optional salat, thousands of janaza salats, making yourself present there, shirkat, and visiting the sick. It far supersedes that. So, with dhikr comes falah and salah, success and rectification. People come and ask for these du'as, but it is all found in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will gain falah and salah. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb, a letter came to him from one of the relatives of the person who had ta'alluq with him, stating in that letter that he passed away in this state that the kalima was on his tongue. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb was so dearly and deeply pleased with that. And what was his remark? That I wish this for every person of mine, everyone who comes here and who's with me, I wish this for him. Towards the end, Hazrat Wala is speaking Ghar mein se about his wife, that in her last moments, when he said to her, listen, do you want to say anything, and this and that, it was no hope whatsoever. At that time, what did she say? What was it? look, her hal, conscious, semi-conscious, unconscious, that was the last moments. And she said, Bachcha ki khiyal, and that few namazes there in the end, the qaza of it. That's it, that was it. When Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab heard about this year, what did he have to say? Yeah, Hazrat Zwala's wife, the name there, Aqila, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab said that मैं चाहता हूँ, I want actually that the demise of my people comes in the way that how Aqila passed away. In what a type of fikr of akhirat, I mean, of course, a mother. So she says that, see to my children. And the other one is so much of concern of her deen. Her entire life she lived like that. And those few namazes that became qaza in the end, see to those qaza salats of mine. It comes in the riwayat that Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was sent down to the earth. And he spent about 300 years weeping, crying in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala asked him and engaged him, sent wahi to him that, O Adam, why are you crying? Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wassalam says, O Rabbul Alameen, I am not crying on the separation of the ni'mats of Jannah, neither am I crying out of the fear of the punishment of Jahannam. That doesn't make me cry. However, that sacred spectacle that I've been deprived of, that's causing me to cry. What type of spectacle was he speaking and seen? He was speaking about the 70,000 safs of the malaika around the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those malaika in their element, in their strength, with surma in their eyes, completely next to one another, and in a loud form. They were making the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with such a type of kayf, hal, and in a state of ecstasy. I am thinking of that, and that what causes me to cry. On that day, Allah Ta'ala says to Adam alayhi salatu wassalam that raise your gaze to the heavens. Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wassalam looks up, and the curtains, everything is open. He's looking directly at those safs of the malaika around the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, engaged in tasbih, subhanallah, tahleel, la ilaha illallah. Such a type of state overwhelmed Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wassalam that just left him lost completely in another world. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned that the most meritorious is the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from all types of obedience, all acts of worship. The Sahaba said to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is it or does it even supersede that of jihad? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam apne zaban haqiqat, apne zaban haqiqat tarjuman, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, which actually was echoing or speaking from the ghaib regarding the realities of all these things. From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered that jihad also is the remembrance of Allah. Iqamat is salat, establishing salat, and hajj is also the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These all are carried out for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that from all ibadat, the greatest is that of dhikr. And from amongst the adhkar, the greatest is La ilaha illallah. Afdalu dhikr, La ilaha illallah. Hazrat Tusturi, rahimahullah ta'ala, says that La ilaha illallah, the thawab of it is nothing other than witnessing the countenance, didar ilahi, seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. वही दोनों जहाँ की सबसे बड़ी नियामत, and this is the greatest ni'mat of both the worlds. Yes, बाकी तमाम अमाल सालिहा का अजर, yes, the rest, the reward of all other a'mal salihah is that of Jannah, but of dhikrullah, of kalima tayyiba, La ilaha illallah, the reward of La ilaha illallah is nothing other than didar ilahi. Allahu Akbar. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam okay, let's continue. If this kalima was to be put on one pan of the scale and the earth and the heavens on the other pan, then the kalima subhanallahi wa bihamdi would be weightier. From the Ashab Sufa, a Sahabi asks, rather says, that when you are alone and your tongue is wet, moist with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, La ilaha illallah, then understand that you are in the state of salat. So, the reward and the reality and the maqam and status of this kalima has been opened to us so clearly and properly. Okay, so let's continue. To say Allah once is better than this entire world and whatever it contains. On one occasion, we were studying, Hazrat Wala is saying, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah, so we were studying Sharjami. He said, I'm going to give you people examination. We went all out and we were studying, and we even had this thought in our mind that Hazrat will be so pleased we are going one way with the kitabs. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb came, he went, he came, he went from the house to the khanqa to the masjid, seeing us all the time engaged in our revision of our kitabs. He stopped and he said that I'm watching you people for such a long time, and continuously in all this time you did not make the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not for a little while you didn't even read 2 rakats of salat. We thought that he's going to get happy, but what was his impression? That so many hours passed and you did not even take out some little time to engage yourself in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people say that there is no need for nafal. We were in our student days. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah, Hazrat Wala is speaking about the student days of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, and he was so meticulous of his salat and what type of khushu and khudu he would read his salat. Other students would look at him and they would mock. Just see how he's reading salat like this here, and look at his head and look at how humble he's trying to be and this and that. Nevertheless, after some years, after Faraghat, one of the colleagues of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb came to Fatehpur, and then what did he say? He said, Maulana Wasiullah, jo haste the, these people that used to laugh at us when we used to read salat, ab bhi unki namaz aise hi hai. Even till now, their salat is just like that. we understand from all of this here that when you want to change and when you want to do all of this, already from the young and student days, you must try and inculcate and bring it into your life. ना अल्लाह ताला ऐसे जिक्र करने की तौफीक दे जो उनको पसंद है. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and hidayat to carry out such a zikr that is most pleasing to Him. Okay. So this dastarkhan, this table spread here, it is, you can eat anything from it. You people come here every day. Whatever you eat from it, most definitely it is the dastarkhan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning the talimat Hazrat Wala is referring to. So, whatever you eat from it, it is Allah's dastarkhan. Most definitely you will benefit from it. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat to engage in His zikr and to always have fikr for our islah. वक्त तुलू देखा, वक्त खुरूब देखा, अब फिक्र आखिरत है, दुनिया को खूब देखा. Now you have, or you have been bestowed with the worry or fikr of the akhirat. You definitely saw the dunya completely and fully. You're blessed with that, you've seen everything. Sometimes the heart, it doesn't even accompany the tongue. The heart is ghafil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the tongue is moist with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Wala then again mentions that malfuz of Hazrat Gangohi rahimahullah, in which he says, now tell me, when the tongue completes its duty and is destined for Jannah, will Allah make the rest of the organs of the body their destination Jahannam? Allahu Akbar. Don't leave any moment in negligence. Always be in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pata nahi, kab kya ho jaye? We just don't know when, what will happen, when will the soul be snatched away. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of carrying out His zikr abundantly. Allah Ta'ala bless us with afiyat. Allah Ta'ala bless us with ghina and independence. Allah Ta'ala give us abundantly from the treasure of fikr and dhikr. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.